Hello, my marvellous sausages. Now, Season of the Lost is on its way, and we know the Overload mod for this season is for bows. Yes, that's right, Overload bows. Now, we all know that Overload champions are the biggest bum wipes in the game. You've got two types. You've got the charging Minotaurs who run at you screaming until you soil your Guardian Kex and then die, or you have the teleporting Fallen Captains who recharge when they teleport without a limit on distance, it seems. And in fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they can teleport in time as well as space and come back and kill you when you were having a dump in the Tower Bog last Tuesday. Bloody Overload champion, I'm trying to have a dump! Now, usually we've got a choice of weapons to dispatch these absolute gits, but this season we're only going to be having one Overload mod, and it's for bows. Oh no, you may groan, but don't, because let me tell you a secret. Come close. Bow Overload is the best Overload. One shot and staggered these gits are. Sorry, my inner Yoda came out then. Staggered these gits are, yes. I love it in Season of the Chosen, so I'm looking forward to it in Season of the Lost. The main reason why it's so great is that as soon as you fully draw the bow, your Overload shot is ready to go. Bang! And if they're susceptible to the Overload at that point, because you know sometimes when they come out of being staggered, they're immune to being staggered immediately afterwards. There's that little bit of time there where you can't stagger them, but once you've got that Overload shot knocked in your bow, then you can stagger the gits. It's marvellous. Now, firstly, we've got the exotic bows. The three marvellous ones. Now, two of them can be got from the Tower Kiosk. That's Ticcus, Divination and Le Monarque. And the third one, Trinity Ghoul, can't. It can only be a drop out in the wild, or if you're lucky, like this week, it's with Zer, and you can go and buy it from him. Let's have a quick look at all three of these bows. The first one we'll have a look at is Le Monarque. I use this one all the time for kicking champions' asses in Season of the Chosen. It's brilliant. It's got tick damage and precision hits with poison arrows, spread poison to nearby enemies, so it's a great bow. This is the only one, however, that doesn't have a catalyst, so bear that in mind. Maybe it's going to be coming in Season of the Lost, who knows? So that's your first one, a great choice. The second one we've got is Ticcus Divination. Now, what you know this does, it fires 3 seeking arrows if you don't aim down sight, so these arrows will seek out and hit the targets. Then there's a visual cue to see that they attacked with fire, and then when you look down the sights and hit them again, they'll explode. It does also have a catalyst with it. Perfectly drawn arrows that detonate sacred flames increase the arrow damage, so it does increase the damage of the arrows themselves. It's very good, and I would recommend this one too. And then finally the Trinity Ghoul, which is really the best of the three, I think. It shoots 3 arrows again like the Ticcus Divination, but they're not seeking, but then precision kills grant the next shot chain lightning capabilities. But if you get the catalyst for it, any arc kill will then trigger lightning rod. So this is an excellent bow to have too. But of course, the problem that we've got is that these are exotic bows and they're taking up your exotic slot. So let's take a look at what legendary bows we've got to work with. Okay, so first off, we've got the Whispering Slab. I love the look of this thing. It's brilliant. It's like running around with an aeroplane wing strapped to your back. Now, this is a lightweight frame, so intrinsically it's got a faster draw time. Now, it also sits in the primary slot as well, which is quite nice. It's got some great perks that can roll with it. It's got a Vorpal Weapon, which is really good against those pesky overloads because it hits them a bit harder. And Archer's Tempo as well, which is really good. Basically, Archer's Tempo means that every precision hit that you get, then the draw time diminishes. You can fire faster and faster, which is a great roll for a bow as well. Now, this rolls in the third column, so you could actually have both of these together, Vorpal Weapon and Archer's Tempo, which is a nice combination for a bow. It can also roll with Sympathetic Arsenal, which basically means on every final blow, when you reload, it also reloads your stowed weapons. Very good for rocket launchers and things like that, and Swashbuckler as well. So a good choice for dealing with Overload champions, as it is a lightweight frame, but of course if you're looking for the perfect roll with all those lovely perks, then it's grindy farm time, isn't it? Next in the kinetic slot, we've got the Biting Winds. Now, we're not talking about the side effects of a Vindaloo from the previous night. This baby is from Europa, and you can pick it up as a random drop there from boss types, or as a reward for an Empire hunt. Now, it's another another precision frame, so it's got a longer draw time, but you can get Archer's Tempo to run on it as well, which is pretty cool to speed that up. It can also come with Sympathetic Arsenal and also Swashbuckler as well. If you don't know what Swashbuckler is, this weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills with this weapon. Killing Wind is also something that might be something to do actually with the Vindaloo. But it can also have Quick Draw and Explosive Head as well. So it's a great bow with great rolls, but it's quite, well, not hard to get, but you've got to sort of fight for it really on Europa if you want that baby. Okay, moving down to the energy slot now, we've got the Arsenic Bite. Now this is an arc bow, so it's bloody great for all the arc shields that you're going to find turning up in the Legend and the Master Lost sectors, not to mention everywhere else you find champions. It's a lightweight frame, which means it fires really fast, so you can fire out a stun really fast as well against the Overload champions. I think actually for stunning the champions, the lightweight frame is your best bet. It can roll with Explosive Head in its last perk, which is excellent fun because that packs a nice wallop. But the Archer's Tempo, which increases the draw time, rolls in that slot as well, so you can't have them both together. And they are kind of my two favourite perks to have on bows, which is a bit of a bum, but still, it really draws very quickly, like Tony Hart. Now, this next one, Point of the Stag, is probably the most interesting of them all because you don't have to go and hunt for it. You can just go and buy it from the exotic tower kiosk. It's from an old Iron Banner mission from bloody years ago. Well, it's not actually, I can't remember what season it was, but still, you can buy it. Now, in order to buy it, you need to get 1 Ascendant Shard, 2 Ascendant Prisms, 100 Legendary Shards, and 75,000 Glimmer. Bloody hell. Firstly, it already comes Masterwork with an accuracy stat, which is very nice for getting those precision hits. It's arc, like I said, which is really handy, and it's a fixed roll. So you don't have to go through all the arsenic of trying to get a good roll on it. It comes with a pretty good roll. Now, it's precision frame, so it takes a little bit longer to draw, but it's got Archer's Tempo on it, which is great because that increases the draw speed after each precision hit. You can also have in the same slot, you could pick No Distractions if you wanted to do that. That reduces the flinch, but Archer's Tempo for me is a much better perk. In the second column, or rather the fourth column, I know, don't ask me, the second perk you can have is either Vorpal Weapon, which increases damage against bosses, champions and vehicles and things like that, or if you want to get more accurate again, you could go with Eye of the Storm. I choose Vorpal Weapon basically across the board for whatever weapon it is because it's great for giving kick-ins. So Point of the Stag is there for you to pick up ready if you haven't got a decent bow that you want to take in against some Overload champions. Next, we've got the Imperial Needle. Now, this is a void bow, and you can pick this up when it came around in Season of the Chosen, and you could get it as a reward from the battleground. So you want to focus your umbral engrams in the helm, go to past seasons, and then you can pick the bow engram if you want to try and get this little baby. You can also get Archer's Tempo on this baby, which is bloody good. You could Impulse Amplifier as well, which might be interesting. And in the fourth slot, you could have Swashbuckler or Sympathetic Arsenal, or actually Frenzy as well, which could be quite interesting. Being in combat for an extended time increases damage, handling and reload for this weapon until you're out of combat. So there are interesting perks for that too. Now, there are 2 other bows as well that you can get from raids, and if you don't raid, then you're not going to get them. Well, I haven't bloody got them, so I've never had a go of them, but here's a quick squiz at them, and you never know, you might find them useful. You might have them tucked away in your cupboard and completely forgotten about them. The first one's called Tyranny of Heaven. This can only be found in the Last Wish raid. It's not something I've done, but it's a lightweight solar bow, and it can roll with Archer's Tempo, and Explosive Head, or Dragonfly. Now, aside from Ticcus Divination, it's the only legendary bow that's relevant in the game as a solar option. If you go to the collection screen, you can see the Hush bow is there as well, listed as a solar bow, but it's been sunset, so that's buggered that. Now, any of you have used this bow, let me know in the comments what it's like. And the other one is called the Accrued Redemption. This one's from the Garden of Salvation, and it's a precision kinetic bow, and it does seem to be very popular in PvP. It can roll with my fave perks of Archer's Tempo and Explosive Head, but as with the Tyranny bow, I've never used it, and I have no feel for it, so I can't really recommend it to you, but I'd stick it on the list just so that you're aware of it. So if I was to choose from the bows we've had a look at, it would either be the Arsenic Bite or the Point of the Stag. The Arsenic Bite, because it's a lightweight frame, fires those quivers goddamn quick, and the point of the Stag, it has a really good fixed roll and you don't have to grind for it, which probably makes the point of the Stag the better one to get if you haven't got a decent bow. There's one other bow that I haven't talked about, and that's the Leviathan's Breath. Now this one is the only heavy bow in the game, and I really do like it quite a lot. It can get the catalyst as well. It intrinsically stuns unstoppable champions, which is interesting. Wouldn't it be hilarious if you could stick on your overload mod and then you'd have one bow that could do unstoppables and overloads both at the same time? But of course that's not going to happen, is it? But you never know, it might. I shall try that out, one of the first things that I do when the season launches. So, get prepared and get yourself a bow. That overload champion wants to punch your head through your rectum. But I hope you found that bow guide of some interest. And if you did, a like would be fantastic to get my vid out there, and a subscribe as well, and a click of the notification bell will let you know when I splat my next loadout onto the internet. And believe me, the velocity is going to increase now with the new season starting. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you all again very soon. Sausage it.